Hey everybody, my name is Rick, and today I am so excited to talk to you about a book that is both the second book in my 20 Books of Summer project that has me reading and reviewing 20 books on this channel between June 1st and September 1st, and it is also the book that I had chosen for me in the BookTube Spin number 2. So, Satellite Love by Genki Ferguson is a pretty big book for me this summer, and thankfully I really enjoyed it, and I'm so excited to talk to you because I haven't seen anybody talk about this book before, and I think it is truly the start of what's going to be a really interesting career for Genki Ferguson. The premise of this book seems really strange from the outset, I think, but what I loved about it is that it allows Ferguson to have really interesting, really nuanced, really different conversations about belief and faith and what it means to believe. The story is about a 16-year-old girl named Anna who lives in Japan, who is really lonely and is really awkward in social situations. And one day she looks up to the sky and she sees a satellite up there and just feels a connection to it. And in making this connection with this satellite, she kind of imbues it with life. In alternating chapters, we go from Anna to this satellite, which has developed this kind of artificial intelligence, and the two of them start to build this quasi-relationship. Anna is imagining all these features and qualities in the satellite, which she calls Leo, a low Earth orbit satellite, so Leo. And the satellite itself can actually see down to Earth and watch her live her daily life. So they both kind of build this relationship with each other separate but simultaneously. And then one day, Leo falls to Earth. So that's the kind of frame story that we're operating under, which is really unusual, but Ferguson does so many interesting things with it. I think there's 4 major themes that I really resonated with, and the first one I mentioned already, and that is belief and the power of belief. And what this book really explores, I think more than anything else, is the idea that belief can have a value all on its own. That there is power in belief, that there is substance in belief, that whether you ever find out whether you're right or wrong, believing in something really strongly has an effect on a person. And there's this moment in the book when Anna is talking to Leo about the nature of his existence and how any of this is even possible. Anna is kind of saying, like, I don't really care what the real story is. All I know is what I believe is happening. And that's kind of all that matters to her. And in their conversation, they start talking about a hypnotist and how amazing it is that a hypnotist can take someone and just kind of throw them all around the room and they kind of go along with it. The only reason they're being thrown around the room is because they believe that he can throw them around the room. And Anna kind of stops Leo making this point, and she says, one of my favorite lines of the book, she says, they don't believe that he can throw them around the room. They want to believe that he can throw them around the room. And wanting to believe is much more powerful than actual belief, which I have not stopped thinking about. Think of all the people who do such insane things on the news, in your life, whatever, based on things they want to be true, not necessarily are true. They're just beliefs that they have that they hold so strongly, and they will do anything that they have to, they'll say anything they have to try to legitimize what it is they want to believe. The second theme I want to talk about in this book is the concept of kami. I think I'm pronouncing that right, K-A-M-I. For more Western viewers, it's kind of like the concept of the soul, and in this book it really explores, can a man-made thing have a soul? And at one point Ferguson just makes this really interesting observation between the concept of kami and belief in general. And he says, if you want to believe that a religion will protect you, you have to accept that it could hurt you too. You have to accept that if you worship poorly, if you neglect the kami, if you lose your respect, it'll harm you and the people around you. And if you can't assume that responsibility, then don't believe at all. Most people don't want to assume any of that responsibility for any of the negative things that come from the things that they believe. Belief, for whatever reason, is just wrapped up in this 100% certainty for one, and also 100% loyalty. So this book is really grappling with that idea of believing in something that is very positive in some ways and also very negative in some ways. And does that have any effect on your belief? Should it have any effect on your belief? what do you do with that? The third theme of the book is, I think, this often toxic idea of pulling someone down to your level as opposed to putting yourself out there and meeting them on their level. It's expressed through Anna seeming to kind of will this satellite down to Earth, and she starts to wish that she had gone up to the satellite as opposed to bringing it down to her, because she realizes, like, you are in this beautiful, magical place in space, and I brought you down to Earth, which is awful a lot of the time, and I did that to you. And I just think this is such an interesting metaphor that he explores. This idea that people don't often try to transcend their own situations to try and grow and reach out and become something else with someone else. Often our instinct is to try and knock them down so that they're on our level, rather than commit to something, try really hard, and try to get up to their level. It's so much easier to knock someone down than to build yourself up. And the fourth theme, I think, is dissatisfaction. Anna finds herself at a certain point unsatisfied with Leo and what she's getting from Leo. Unsatisfied, she says, in the way someone can only be unsatisfied by getting exactly what it is they desire. It just reminds me of that amazing Jim Carrey quote about, I wish everyone could achieve their dreams so they could realize that that's not the answer. So the book has really sent me on this like spiral over the last couple of days, because it's really gotten me thinking about this idea of desire and the pursuit of desires, and just the idea of the journey and the destination and what is actually meaningful. Getting what you desire can be amazing, but that feeling lasts for such a small amount of time, and then all of a sudden you need a new desire, you need a new destination. This book has really encouraged me to do a lot of work, like personally, to figure out ways that I can be more present and start to maybe envision the journey as the destination, as hokey as that sounds. So yeah, this book was like really enjoyable as I was reading it, but it's gotten so much better after I finished it. And I think it's a book that I'm gonna love rereading at a certain point. So it comes very highly recommended from me. I hope some of you will go out there and read it. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Rick McDonnell, and I'll see you guys in a couple days. Bye.